Okay, here we go for February's Patreon review request. It is time for a beer along with this. There's no cat this month, I'm afraid. He's out gallivanting about on mouse patrol, whatever cats do. Remember, this is a nitro, milk stout nitro, so you do something called hard pour, which is a lot of fun. Here you go. Again, don't do this with a real beer. I say a real beer. With a gross beer. I'm not a beer fan, but I do like this. Okay, so let's go down the list of choices for this month's Patreon review request. I love these. I love getting these from you guys. I love reading them. I love looking up what in the world are these. Oh, and by the way, Rick and Morty, which is a bunch of cartoons that I'm watching, that is in progress. That review should be out soon. There's a lot of ambivalence involved with that one, but stay tuned. All right, so for February, the first choice, Gene V would like me to cover Life is Strange. He mentioned it in connection with a review I wrote of Oxenfree, where I guess I pointed out that I'd started it and didn't get very far with it. Gene calls it, quote, his baby. And he said something very intriguing. This is the thing that made me most want to play it. He says the ending of Life is Strange is the whole point. I love that concept. He also said, and you guys can pick anything, by the way, Gene V kindly at the end of his message said, and if you don't want to do that, review this Ashghar Farhadi movie, which, by the way, Ashghar Farhadi just won the Academy Award for The Salesman. I haven't seen that yet. I know that's in theaters. So I would love to see an Ashghar Farhadi movie, Gene V, but your choice was Life is Strange. You've got to stick with that. Number 2, Joseph M., a book called The Player of Games, which I assumed was about video games, but he said it's about board games, so right up my alley. Actually, either one is fine, but that's intriguing. You don't see a lot of books about board games. And they aren't chess. Greg R., who wrote in all caps this month. Greg, I can hear you. He's wanted me to cover, this is the worst title to suggest in all caps, Spy Party, because you know spies should be subtle. And a Spy Party is, isn't it multiplayer only? I confess I haven't kept up with the development of Spy Party. Is it even out? It is, right? And he threatened that he would later be requesting maybe reviews of Secret Hitler, one of those hidden identity traitor board games / social party games, which I actually love. If I'm going to play one of those silly little things, I think I would opt for Secret Hitler. And he's still trying to trick me into thinking that Rainbow Six Mother Trucka is a thing. Greg, I know it's not. I looked it up. Number 4, Sandhu N., a friend of mine, suggests Sandhu, what? America's largest IKEA, which is in Burbank. Okay. Wow. I'm not sure what I would do with that, but there are certainly options. So that's Sandhu's pick, number 4. Number 5, Colton W. All Black Cats Are Not Alike. It's a book. I looked it up and immediately put it in my Amazon.com cart. It should be here Wednesday. Whether I review it or not, it sounded really cool, Colton. All Black Cats Are Not Alike. As the owner of a black cat, that's the guy who's out gallivanting about right now, that sounds like something I should read. Let's see, Sean K. I have no idea how to say this, or even what to make of it. Gyosiat. Well, I've written it on the screen. You can see how it's spelled. It's a Flash game from 2001. It's not even on Steam. You have to go to a website that runs it from a Flash plugin. Now, Sean, I think he copy and pasted a description of it that had some intriguing stuff about a creation myth and an apocalypse and men and women, like male and female roles. And it sounded intriguing, but a Flash game? How good can a Flash game be? Sean, intriguing recommendation. Thank you for that. I have no idea how to say the word. Gyosiat. Is that Scandinavian of some sort? Sam S. Wants me to cover a game called Sovereignty, Crown of Kings, which I've fiddled with a little bit. It is is it turn-based or real-time? I think it's turn-based. It's a grand strategy game in a fantasy universe. And one of the things that most intrigues me about it is that it has a pre-made, sort of baked-in mythology and background and sort of a political background. It's not a master of magic, hey, roll your own and make up anything. The guy who made it clearly has like his own D&D campaign in mind. And when you play a race, you're not just the humans. You're like these specific humans that have this relationship with those humans, and it looks interesting. And I was struck by it when I was in college. We used to have to read stuff out loud in one of these classes that I took, and I was made fun of for reading the word sovereignty as sovereignty. There's a lot of vowels in that word, and I'm not entirely sure what to do with them. Patrick C., Showgirls. Really? That's what we're doing. I've never seen Showgirls, believe it or not. Rennie Harlan? No, Paul Verhoeven, right? For the longest time also, I confused Elizabeth Berkley and Elizabeth Banks. How terrible is that? My sincere apologies to Miss Banks. So I've never seen Showgirls. Patrick C., wow, this could be my chance. Josh B., Magic Realm, a board game. And he said, I think he said something along the lines of it would probably be hard to get. Guess what, Josh B.? This was sent to me by, oh wait, this means nothing. Look, a wizard. There, you need to see these words. This was sent to me by a really cool guy named, I don't know if he wants me to out him or not, his name is Chris. He just saw me writing about Mage Knight, and he said, hey, I've got a copy of Magic Realm. I've never been able to get into it. Let me just go ahead and send it to you. And I was later told these go for like a couple $100s. This is like an original 1979 first edition. So amazing, and I'm quite taken by it. It's definitely 1979, very Avalon Hill in the olden days. So Josh B., that's a very real possibility, unlike something that's about to come up here. Chris M., again, mentions the first season of The Wire. By golly, one of these days I am going to watch it. And I think the longer that I don't watch it, the more the anticipation for watching it, right? It's like forcing yourself to wait until you eat dessert. Speaking of dessert, okay. David D. This is the one that led me to do the most research. He wants me to write about an anime series from 1988. He said they're like 6 half-hour episodes. He wrote what it was called in Japanese. I didn't put that here. It translates to aim for the top, gunbusters, exclamation point. So he said that there's maybe a VHS copy that came out in the 90s, but he hoped that it would be streamable somewhere. I can't find this thing anywhere. There's an anime site that looked like you could watch it, but instead it was a Gunbusters from later. So this original Gunbusters, David, that you've mentioned, I kind of hope it wins, because good Lord, that would be quite the challenge, tracking it down. And frankly, anything that obscure that you think is worth me writing about, wow, okay, what is that? So that's David D's pick, number 11. Number 12, Andrew S. I'd never heard of this. The Country of the Pointed Firs, F-I-R-S, trees. A book by Sarah Orne Jewett. I have no idea who she was. So I Wikipedia'd her, and turns out she's a prime example of American literary regionalism. I don't even know what that is. But Andrew S., I dropped that into my Amazon.com cart as soon as I saw it, right up there with All Black Cats Are Not Alike. So whether you win or not, that one's on the way. Leroy B. Suggests Captain Sonar. Now, I was at a board gaming cafe here in the Valley, here in Los Angeles recently. And one of my problems with going to these sorts of cafes is I think, well, why not just stay at my house and play, where I can get whatever I want from my kitchen, and we can take a break, and you know, there's not a lot of noise. And I think the reason I felt this way is because when I went there were some people in a corner constantly like yelling and shouting, like shouting at each other. They're like frat boys playing beer pong or something. And it turns out they were playing Captain Sonar. So I'm curious about Captain Sonar. It's apparently like players around a table represent a submarine crew, and each person has limited information and has to bark that information to other people at the table. It actually does sound like a lot of fun, just not something I would enjoy being around other people playing it in a public space where I'm trying to concentrate on, you know, a curricula or whatever. So that's number 13. Unlucky 13, Leroy B. Number 14, Matt P. wants me to write up Michael Clune's Game Life, and he's already sent me a copy, so I own this. Now here's my problem with it's called Game Life, a memoir. Okay, but then if you look here, do you see the picture of the guy? That's Michael Clune. The back also says he's the author of a memoir titled Whiteout, The Secret Life of Heroin. A guy that age, he's written 2 memoirs. Wow, all right. But I will read this, Matt P., whether it wins or not. I do look forward to seeing what this is all about. Matt P. is one of those guys, you know what, I can out him. His name is Matt Peckham. He writes for Time.com. Anything he recommends, I don't care. I would be happy to look at it. Soren H. Soren, I love this. A game on Steam called Black Closet, which is kind of a board game, kind of a strategy game, very Japanesey in that you're in a school. What's the Japanese deal with like having adventures in schools? Like the Persona games and stuff. What? Get over school, Japan. You've graduated. Whatever the deal is, Black Closet is, you have like minions, and they're investigating people in the school, and they have different courses of action, and you roll dice, and it seemed like a really cool, interesting, weird board game. And it's been out for, it seemed like it had been out for a while. I'd never heard of it before. But that is number 15, Black Closet. Number 16, Jarmo P. Edge of Darkness, the British series, not the Mel Gibson movie. Which I don't recall minding the Mel Gibson movie so much. And I think I might have seen Edge of Darkness a long time ago. Not since I saw the Mel Gibson thing, I don't think. But Jarmo, you're on. That's number 16. Number 17, Eric G. Santorini. Eric G. seems to be constantly on the hunt for 2-player board games. I think he says he's looking for things he can play with his wife. And Santorini, I was intrigued by. I went ahead and ordered it. So Eric G., whether that gets chosen or not, I've got it on the way. And he also mentioned La La Land is last year's best movie. Eric G., the Academy seems to believe that as well, despite some confusion about Moonlight. Who knows what happened? But thank you for the supportive word. La La Land only got 6 Academy Awards, 14 nominations. It only won 6 of them. The Academy is obviously broken. All right, number 18, Sam H. Last Days by Brian Evanson. Now, I looked this up as well, Sam. It is apparently a sort of a hard-boiled detective crime thriller, but I think with supernatural elements, which sounds really cool. I am currently on assignment to read something called Night Film, which is similar. Marisha Pessl, I don't know how to say that. It's similarly a hard-boiled detective guy investigating something supernatural, but it has in the book these little like artwork representations of newspaper articles and websites and like autopsy reports. And you're supposed to, I don't know if you're supposed to, like, look, am I supposed to read that? Or is there any information there? It's like flavor text. Anyway, whatever Last Days is, interesting. Let me finish film, Night Film? Night Film. And then I'll be curious more to look into Last Days. And I'll be reading it immediately if that wins, number 18. Number 19, Joshua M., Jason Lute's graphic novel series. I don't want to call them comic books. I think they're graphic novels, right? Jason Lute's very talented writer, and I think illustrator, yeah. Wrote a series of books about Weimar Republic Berlin. And he actually gave me one and had the gall to not sign it. Yeah, I couldn't believe it either. So Joshua M. specifically said, is there stuff about the Weimar Republic that might be relevant today? I'm not going to touch, I said I'm not going to touch that. Of course I'm going to touch that. Yes, there's a lot of stuff that is enormously relevant. There, I touched it. Matthew C., once again, a vote for Seven Kingdoms 2, real-time strategy game from Trevor Chan. Alex C., Still don't know how to say this. Nioh, Nioh. It is a Dark Souls kind of game that I've actually played a bit of, and then decided I'm not into this. It's just Dark Souls stuff. I'm going to end up beating my head against a boss for hours on end. But then I played it more and realized, oh, wait a minute, this game is going to, there are going to be returns on the time spent in this game, whether I'm winning or losing. It has a Diablo-esque kind of vibe in that regard. So Nioh, I would love to play that more. That's one, though, when are you ready to review a game like that? Like, Dark Souls, for instance. I've played a lot of Dark Souls. I've never gotten all the way through them. Do you need to? I don't know. Anyway, Nioh, I would love to play more of it. I plan to play more of it. And that will be the Patreon review of the month if a 21 is rolled. Hoarder S. Wow, Hoarder. Okay. The StarCraft 2 1v1 ladder. Wow. I like StarCraft 2 quite a bit, but playing multiplayer online against strangers, terrifying. So that would certainly be a different kind of a write-up. So Hoarder, you're subjecting me to that if a 22 rolls. 23, Alexi V, just said the Disgaea series in general, just overall. And how fortuitous, I am currently knee-deep, you know what, actually waist-deep in Disgaea 5. Good Lord, the time I've spent with that. And then finally, 24, Clay H, West with the Night. A biography, now here's a person who was ready to write memoirs, by a woman named Beryl Markham. And I thought again, whoa, how fortuitous, I own that. And then realized, oh, you probably saw it on the shelf back there. So yes, West with the Night. She was an aviatrix in Africa. You know, everybody's like, oh, Amelia Earhart. Yeah, I prefer aviatrixes that didn't get lost. So going through here, it's interesting, you know, I haven't read this in forever. Looking at the stuff like that you underline and pages that you fold and wondering, what was I thinking? I came across a part where she writes about zebras are the most useless animals of any size in Africa. His hide, while striking in appearance, is only fairly durable and has made its greatest decorative triumph as paneling for the walls of a New York nightclub. She's pretty sassy. So that is number 24. All right, so there we go. 24 nominations. This time, unlike the Academy Awards, we're going to roll one up, and it's going to be the thing that actually gets chosen. We're not going to have the producer of La La Land coming out and doing takebacks. So here we go. Let's go to, once again, I'm going to be fumbling around getting an iPad to work here. All right, numbers 1 to 24. We are on randomresult.com. All right, here we go. Okay, let's again, I want you guys to see this as soon as I do, if not sooner. Here we go, and go. It didn't, did it go? What is that? Okay, what is it? It is I have to look here, a 9, which is, oh good Lord, what is a 9? Josh B, Magic Realm. Good Lord. Well, there we go. I'm circling it right there. Magic Realm, the winner of the February Patreon review request. If you'd like to participate all you have to do is support me for $10 or more at my Patreon campaign at patreon.com/TomChick. I'll send you a message once a month saying, hey, it's that time, send me the name of something you'd like me to review, and within a month or so, hopefully sooner, maybe later, I will definitely write something about that. So thank you guys again so much for participating in this and for being a Patreon supporter. It means a lot to me. I hope everyone's having a great February, and I hope everyone realizes, like me, La La Land really should have won. I don't know. I mean, you know, once they say it, you can't take it back. It doesn't matter what's written on the card. It matters what you announce on live television.